7 men who brought 64 kilogram of cocaine into the UK, hidden inside a vintage Cadillac car, have been jailed for almost 100 years. In February 2024, police stopped a grey Mercedes travelling on the M1 in Bedfordshire. Inside the vehicle was Paulino Soares, 33, formerly of Nottinghamshire, Juan Valle Tellez, 32, of HMP Bedford, and Raul Ruiz Jurado, 29, also of HMP Bedford. Soares, who was driving the car, was already on the radar of police for his part in previously supplying cocaine. In 2023, detectives had begun an investigation into a number of individuals who had communicated through the EncroChat server, an encrypted global communications service used by organised crime groups, which brought down by authorities under Operation Venetic. Subsequent data recovered from the server identified several users having been based in the East Midlands, data which was handed over to the East Midlands Serious Organised Crime Unit. 2 profiles linked to Soares came to officers' attention, and the Class A dealer was identified. The more the team started looking into him, another investigation was born, and 6 other men were identified. Fast forward to February 2024, and a search of a stopped vehicle revealed a purple suitcase in the boot which contained 21 blocks of compressed white powder, found to be just over 18 kilogram of cocaine, with a wholesale value of in excess of £549,000 and worth 1.48 million on the UK streets. Ruiz and Tellez were responsible for importing the cocaine into the UK. A number of mobile phones, a large quantity of cash, foreign currency, ID cards, and a baseball bat were also seized from the vehicle, along with the paperwork and travel documents indicated the 2 men had recently travelled to the UK from Mexico and Peru, respectively. The 3 men were all arrested, and a search of Soares' home, which was then in Sheffield, recovered £13,000 in cash and further mobile phones. All 3 men were charged with cocaine offences, followed by Naheem Rafiq, 37, and Mohammed Ilyas, 29, both of Bradford, Omar Cohen, 46, and Shimon Shariki, 57, both of London. The investigation showed how the 3 distinct groups were coming together in pursuit of the large supply of quantities of cocaine. In December 2023, a vintage 1953 Cadillac sedan left Peru on board a ship destined for the UK. What authorities did not know was the car was not being transported as a collector's item, rather it was stuffed full of cocaine, the 64 kilogram worth 1.92 million in wholesale value. The car arrived in the UK on the 25th of January 2024. It was collected by an unknown person and taken to a workshop in Grays, Essex. During this time, those involved in the conspiracy were contacting each other and putting plans in place. They started to mobilise swiftly. Shrieky flew into Luton from Tel Aviv in Israel. Tellez arrived in London, having travelled from Mexico, and Jurado also arrived into London from Lima in Peru. They were all headed to Essex in order to extract the cocaine from the vehicle to look after it, while their associates in South America located the UK-based buyers for the cocaine. Bradford-based Ilyas and Rafiq brought kilos of cocaine from the Cadillac in early February. The plan was for Jurado and Tellez to then look to assist with the delivery of the cocaine to the buyers. Cohen and Shariki had also received cocaine from the Cadillac and further assisted with the sales in London. The group had travelled to the workshop on an industrial estate in Grays, Essex, where they dismantled the car, extracting the large quantity of cocaine which was concealed within. It was this cocaine that was later seized from Soares' vehicle just a portion of that which was extracted from the vehicle in Grays. In April 2024, a search warrant was executed at Cohen's address in London and recovered more than 680 grams of cocaine, a large quantity of cannabis, 19,000 in cash, scales and other paraphernalia. He was arrested. That same month, officers arrested Shrieky from his address in London, the same block of flats as Cohen. The search recovered a large quantity of brown crystalline substance, believed to be MDMA, and around 2,000 in cash. Thanks to the tenacious police investigation, the men appeared at Luton Crown Court across various dates early this year. They all entered guilty pleas to all the charges, including Ilyas and Rafiq, who pleaded guilty at trial and were jailed on Friday the 7th of March, as follows. This man received 16.5 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine and conspiracy to fraudulently evade the prohibition on the importation of cocaine. This man was jailed for 16.5 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine and conspiracy to fraudulently evade the prohibition on the importation of cocaine. This man was jailed for 15 years for conspiracy to supply a controlled drug of Class A cocaine, conspiracy to supply a controlled drug of Class A, and possessing criminal property cash. He was also issued with a serious crime prevention order. This man received 9.5 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine. This man received 9.5 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine. He was also issued with a serious crime prevention order. This man received 15 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine and possessing criminal property cash. This man received 15 years for conspiracy to supply cocaine. The proceeds of crime is now underway for Soares, Rafiq, Ilyas and Cohen to retrieve their ill-gotten gains. Detective Chief Inspector Darren Brown said, "This conspiracy is indicative of the work of a high-level organised crime group operating both nationally and internationally." He said what we uncovered was a very sophisticated operation, the use of encrypted communications devices, money laundering, unexplained wealth and various methods employed by the group in order to frustrate the law enforcement attempts to tackle this criminality, but their efforts were in vain, as you can see by the jail terms handed out. Here is some more news from Lancashire ways. 2 men were caught out after police stopped their car on the M6. Jay Farraha, 25, and Stephen Brown, 42, were pulled over by Cumbria Police near Junction 36, and both the vehicle and its occupants were searched. Officers quickly located a bag on the rear passenger seat which contained a bag of white powder initially suspected to be cocaine. Farraha and Brown were arrested at the scene, and Farraha admitted to officers, "That's mine, that," referring to the drugs found inside the bag within the vehicle. In total, the estimated street value of the drugs seized was around 10,000. Further examination of Farraha and Brown's mobile phone seized during the search on November the 1st last year revealed further drug supply activity. Farraha of Stanley Road, Barrow, was jailed for 3 years and 4 months after pleading guilty to possession with intent to supply Class A drugs cocaine and being concerned in the supply of cocaine. Brown of Egerton Court, Barrow, was jailed for 2 years and 3 months after also admitting to being concerned in the supply of cocaine. They were sentenced at Preston Crown Court on Friday, the 14th of March. Detective Constable Alex Brown of Lancashire Police said the initial stop on the motorway by officers was great use of proactive policing to stop, as well as the subsequent investigation has resulted in 2 individuals behind bars and harmful drugs being taken off the streets. The police officers work all year round to root out these types of crimes, and this is just the latest example of criminals facing prosecution in Cumbria. The police are committed to disrupt the supply of Class A drugs which cause harm and misery in our communities. A Force spokesperson added, "This work is carried out under the banner of Operation Alliance, which is the country's response to protect the public against serious and organised crime." Please like this video, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.